Hi, I'm Nyk, and I'm filming this video with Do Yoga With Me. Oftentimes when I try to help students begin a meditation practice, one of the most challenging things about sitting to meditate is actually getting physically comfortable. So because we spend a lot of time sitting in chairs, sitting on the floor, whether we have support or not, can be a bit of a challenge, both for the tightness of the muscles that we have from sitting in chairs all the time, and then also from some of the muscles that have become weakened from using back support. So I'm going to demonstrate several ways that you could choose to sit for meditation. And I recommend when you're starting meditation, regardless of which way you choose to sit, that you just start with shorter meditations and work your way up. This gives your body a chance to open in the tight areas and for your back to get a little stronger so that sitting upright on the floor isn't quite as much torture. So the first thing to mention is that padding is a good thing. So I just have something as simple as a blanket. You could also use, they actually have what's called zabutons, which you can buy, which are proper meditation cushions. They're large and square, but if you're just starting out, a blanket or two or three, as many as you have underneath you, just so that your bones don't dig into the floor. So this is a good just foundation. And then for most bodies, we're going to need to sit on something to lift our hips up higher than our knees. Otherwise, we can end up with aching in the hips and maybe even knee pain. So there's a few ways that we could choose to do this. One could be to use your yoga blocks. They also make meditation benches, which would slide in. And again, if you're looking at investing later, once you develop the practice, those are a great tool. But we can also, if we want to sit this way, but sitting on the feet won't be realistic for very long, we can take a yoga block, and there's a few ways we could put it. We could put it this way, between the feet, this way, or you could double stack. So just depending on how you feel. And for most of us, taking more height than you think you need will relieve any discomfort in the knees and the ankles. So usually it's taller than you think. So this could be one way that you could sit to meditate. And again, that could be on one less block, or you could also turn your block like this and have a seat that way. So this is one option. Another option is to sit up on a cushion of some sort. It could be a meditation cushion, some of them are round, or it could be a yoga bolster if that's what you have handy. So sitting on a cushion, again, we want to notice when we're sitting with our legs crossed, we want the knees to be lower than our hips. So you can test it out just by bringing your hands to your hips and then taking a look at where your knees are in relation. And so if you're not capable of this in your body, which a lot of people aren't, then if your knees are up quite a bit, you want to get your bum up higher. So you could put more cushions underneath you. And another thing that can help, rather than letting the knees sort of hang in space, which can cause a lot of discomfort, is taking your blocks and just putting those under the knees so that they have something to then rest onto. So that's another variation of a way that you could choose to sit. Whether you want to use blocks or even if you just have a couple books handy, that will work. Again, getting the seat up as high as you can, higher than you think. So there's another option for sitting. So another option could be I believe these are called back jacks, and these are great because they actually do have something that you can lean back on when your back starts to get tired, and you could add a cushion to this as well if you wanted. So especially if when you sit like this, if your knees are up quite a bit, then you want to boost your bum up higher. This allows you an opportunity to lean back, and these are adjustable, so you can bring them more upright or back a little bit, and this can be good for when you're partway through your sit. If your back muscles start to get tired, you can lean that back or you can bring it up more. So that's an option, a back jack. So another option could be sitting in a chair. I try to recommend getting out of chairs whenever possible, simply because these are the reason that our back muscles typically are weak and our hips are tight. But for some people, it's just the only option that you're going to be able to sit comfortably is in a chair. So if you're going to sit in a chair, I'm going to recommend that you come forward a little bit so you're not just sort of lounging out like you would if you were hanging out in a chair. but instead to come forward so that you're using the muscles again of your back to sit upright. And if your feet don't naturally reach the floor, you could put some support under your feet. I ideally think when you're sitting in a chair, if you can get a cushion still and put that there so that, again, my hips are lifting above the height of my knees. So I'm not shortening this angle again in the hips, which is kind of what chairs do for us. So you could choose to sit in a chair. So that's another option for sitting. Okay, so now that we've gone over several ways that you can actually sit, a couple more things to mention before you actually do meditate is that the hands could be anywhere. They could be on your lap. They could be cupped in your lap like this. This is an option as well. We just want to make sure that we're not bringing the hands so far away from us that we're starting to round our shoulders forward and to slouch. So we want to bring the hands to a position where it allows us to keep the collarbones wide and the heart center open. The chin is lifted so that it's parallel to the floor, and then just very slightly drawn back, just the tiniest bit. Depending on the tradition of meditation, the eyes could either be closed or they could be softly open and you could be gazing at one still point on the earth. And again, we want to start small with meditation practice. So if you're new to meditation, you could start this just for 5 minutes, and then each day just add another minute, and before you know it, you'll be sitting like a pro. So there's half of the challenge of meditation, which is how to actually sit, how to get comfortable sitting. The other half, of course, is the mind, and there's many meditations on the channel that you can explore to help to anchor the mind. There's many meditations on this channel that can help guide you as you start your meditation practice. Thank you.